Hello everyone and welcome back to another match of the All Skills tournaments. I am Rainbow Poogle and I am joined by Zik3. How are you doing, Zik?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Poogle?
I'm doing great. We're up for another match from the Eki division between Covert Muffin and Acridstingray. Now, this is going to be a very fun match to watch, considering that Covert Muffin is one of the few runners of this tournament that does the what's 20 seconds route. Now, that route being subjectively 20 seconds slower, but we're just going to have to see how these runners play. Now, this is a lower bracket match, so whoever loses this match is going to be out from the tournament. So, you want to introduce our runners?
Sure. So, as we said, we're going to be watching Covert versus Acrid. Just a little bit of information about, their goals for this race and, everything they're going to be doing. Covert isn't going to be watching his opponent, while Acrid will be. So it's going to be interesting to see how that affects their gameplay throughout the run. And their goal is pretty much, Covert is trying to get a sub 32-minute run this race. So we're going to see if he's able to make that possible. While Acrid's also trying to go for a PB this race. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of, strategies these runners go for, see if they take a little more risky strategies to kind of break through that time barrier.
Yeah, that's right. Now, Muffin is absolutely no stranger to Ori. He is the co-founder of the prestigious esports team, Team Forlorn. So let's hope he will bring glory and honor to that team name today.
Right, so we're going to be seeing a little bit of differences between the two. Covert's going to be on keyboard, Acrid's on controllers. So there's going to be a lot of differences we might see on how they do certain things throughout this run.
It'll be interesting to see whether Acrid goes for the mashing or pacing shot method, considering that on controller, you don't have the option of the scroll wheel shooting.
Right.
Looks like we're going to get underway very shortly.
So, Pooh, anything you think we should be looking out for in this race?
A lot of clean movement. A lot of really, consistent going for the tricks, even if they might not get them first try.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that'll be really good to see. Both of these runners are treating these as PB attempts, so that'll be certainly something to look for.
All right, and it looks like we're underway here.
That we are, both runners jumping and running down almost in sync now to the first skill sign. I almost thought for a second we would double screens there, but it looks like we do not. The runners are just almost perfectly synced up for this first part. Acrid throwing a bit of fun backflips in there.
It's always interesting to watch this, first couple minutes of the run to see how just tiny little movement things can set one runner ahead from the other. Clean movement just means so much at the beginning of the game here.
And considering how often that, especially when you're going for PB attempts, you tend to reset in glades in the area. Having that sort of clean movement is something that a lot of people end up almost unintentionally practicing.
Right, so now that the runners have signed, they're going to be moving on to get the wall jump ability and, trying to manage their health here. So we'll see how they do. Both runners making it through that slime.
Acrid had taken a bit of damage on the brambles going for that first jump below, so we'll see how that affects. But it looks like he might have gotten a health from the bramble wall down here, so hopefully it's not going to affect the ghost door chances. And speaking of health, it looks like there's another one that fell down there as well. Let's see if he can hop over it. He does not.
Does not.
So he might actually have to do a 2 HP Ghost Door, which is obviously slightly slower. He is going to get a bit of help from Chompers to die a little quicker.
Both runners opting to go get this health cell here. Now, both runners are going for 6 health, correct? All right, Acrid getting the nice level up on his way out into the wall jump area. I believe Covert didn't get the level up on the way in, so he's going to have to get on the way out to break the bramble. But both runners still very close here, making nice movement, nice clean movement on their way to the wall jump.
Looks like only a 8 or so second difference between them, which is about the difference of one Blackroot Burrow's cycle. So anything is still possible in this race right now.
Blackroot can be a very deciding section. There's Covert getting his level up on the way out. Very good.
And it's not going to get trolled by the Trojan log, which is not exactly a log, but it relatively is to us, so...
Acrid having a tiny bit of difficulty on his way out of that section, but nothing he can't overcome.
Both runners having a great time getting through that elbow. That is just the spookiest part of Glades, personally.
That
just
can be a
getting
very
through
scary
that back
section.
up and down. Looks like Acrid's going to go for the Terra save, which, when you've died in Glades so many times, just that save is a really nice help.
Yep.
With
Can't
not
blame
having
anyone
to go
for
all the
taking
way
that
back.
save.
Oof. Now, Muffin is into Blackroot, doing the save anywhere to skip the first of the cutscenes that we just don't want to see. Not that they're bad cutscenes, they're really, really good cutscenes, just... This is a speedrun. We don't want cutscenes in our speedrun.
So it's still very close so far. We'll see if Blackroot has anything to say about that. Maybe we can see Acrid catch up a little bit here.
Our runners are still close enough to where one or so platform cycles can help close the gap significantly between them.
Ooh.
Oh, Acrid missing a jump on one of those aforementioned platforms and falling into the spikes. Now those spikes, there's really no way to get out of.
Yeah, that can be a very, very tragic death, but also very understandable. Those platforms can be very tricky, especially when you're trying to go fast.
So Acrid is going to make that safety save on the side of the platform so that he doesn't have to go back if he dies. Muffin making a save at the top of the lasers just so that he can reload the room and get a proper cycle on those platforms. Just because sometimes you can't really gauge where those are and where they're not. It's a nice help just keeping that there.
Acrid has not placed a save since that spot, so hopefully, okay, good, that this laser section goes well.
Oh, and he just gets the platform cycle right there without the reload.
Yeah.
Good on him. Muffin getting a good cycle in the dash room, so he's going to be coming up to another quick cutscene skip, which is why we have to get that XP orb, which is, that wall jump is also kind of awful.
Acrid is going to be moving into the dash rooms. We'll see if he also got a good manipulation on these platforms.
Which he did. I don't... Okay. Looked like for a second Muffin didn't get the save anywhere, but he looks like he got it alright.
And now with that, Covert Muffin has the dash ability and is going to be speeding out of this area. This is where the movement is going to be improving drastically. But Acrid not too far behind. Now this is something interesting, that Covert is setting up a save anywhere here, because he's going to want to place a save after he does his Frankie walk before he starts the Death Gauntlet.
Considering that he's often said that his game lags really badly in Death Gauntlet, having that extra ability to save is really nice.
Ooh, Acrid missing the dash glide on the way out of Blackroot. Going to do a reload to try again. There we go. Beautiful.
So, Muffin is through Frankie Walk and into the Death Gauntlet.
A very scary section.
And he hasn't made the save yet, but looks like he's going to make a save. Oh, he's not going to choose to make that save to save. Oof. Does not get one frame, though.
Acrid on the right with a successful Frankie walk. Very nice. Also, placing a save.
That energy is roughly a 10% drop, which is pretty nice that he got that.
That was very nice.
Having a little trouble with this Crusher, though, so... Is gonna make the save down there. Now, because we saw Muffin take that long SA through Frankie Walk, he doesn't take the blind movement up at Double Jump Tree. And he is going to be heading out and towards the Ginso tree as our runners have a somewhat of a high five with Acrid going towards Double Jump.
Covert on the left here is going to be starting his Grotto, leaving Grotto skip, and he gets it first try. It's very nice. Meanwhile, Acrid on the right here is getting his double jump ability and is going for the blind movement, so we get to see what that looks like.
Hopefully he's not going to fall into Poison Water, which he does not. Oh, he's already almost up the wall.
Yeah. That was some very nice movement by Acrid.
Muffin is picking up the Water Vein, which is the key to the first major dungeon of the game, and the only one we really see. Now, coming up to the Ginso tree, what is your best way? What is your favorite way of dealing with having to get up all of these vertical areas even before we get there?
You mean before the Ginso tree?
Yeah, do you like the ninja jumps? Do you just like going back and forth?
You know, I usually like to stick to one side, but sometimes, you know, you just don't feel comfortable with it. Ooh, Covert taking a small death on the spikes there, but has a nice backup save, immediately gets value out of.
Looks like that dash was intentional after he jumped into the spikes just so he could have full health back going through.
That makes sense.
Because these spinning purple spinners do have 2 damage that they will do to you, so taking damage from the spikes and then accidentally getting hit by those would be not fun.
Yes, and doing what Covert did there with pulling the rock out, you put yourself in a very scary situation, very close to hitting those spikes, so any chance you have to not die there is very welcome.
And Muffin is into the Ginso tree. Acrid's still not super far behind.
He's had great play coming forward. You know, he had a first try, grotto skip, so, you know, he's still hot on his tail. He's not giving up.
Now, Acrid is watching the restream, so he does know where he is in relation to Muffin. I wonder if that's going to affect anything that he does moving forward, to see if he can work on trying to catch up, or if he just wants to play to his best.
Right, Acrid had a little bit of difficulty there, missed the grab on the block, so he had to go for pushing the block instead of pulling it that we saw Covert do.
Now, I do like that, considering that if you miss the kind of first cycle, it is slightly faster to just push it into that point. Muffin is now in the Ginso mini-boss. One of the only RNG things we really have in the run. Now, there is a one-frame tell, but Muffin can't see it on his screen. So, he's just hoping that he gets decent spawns, which he totally does.
That was very nice.
And he is through that little part. Now, I'm getting word from the truck, actually, that Acrid golded his Ginso entrance. So
wow.
He is on extremely respectable pace.
We'll see if he can keep that going throughout the Ginso tree. Hopefully he can get as good of a mini-boss as Muffin did.
And Muffin is at the Bash tree. Now, something very, very interesting about the Ginso tree is that it gives you the Bash skill and almost immediately makes you put it to use. It's like, here's a lantern, bash off the lantern. Here is a bunch of shots, bash off the shots. Now, here's both, do this in quick succession. And it's a really good way of learning exactly how the skill works.
So while Muffin, you know, uses Bash to climb this tree here, we can see Acrid here on the right starting his mini-boss.
I'm getting a couple of less than optimal spawns, but it looks like he's following the mini-boss pretty accurately.
Mm-hmm.
Now, because Acrid has to pace his shots, it's going to be a little bit different than... Oh, Covert just went for a damage boost that I've not seen in quite some time. Went off the left wall.
With that mini-boss kill, Muffin is on his way out of the Ginso tree, and a very nice Ginso tree by him.
He will be on his way out as Acrid is getting to Bash. And Muffin will be heading to one of the first super precise tricks of the run, Swamp Entry. Now, he did get that 200 experience orb on the left-hand side because the What's 20 Seconds route has a different experience routing than the normal speedrunning route does. So he's going to grab that and a couple of other different experience orbs to make sure that he has what he needs, as well as bashing directly into the frog. But he had a save, so he's okay.
Acrid getting a nice successful key dupe there on the right. And Muffin with the first dry swamp entry, just still pushing forward very strong.
Now, he had said that if he got to Swamp and to the Stomp Tree by over 1830, that he would stop going for the sub 32 goal. And he is most certainly under that mark.
Well under that time mark, so hopefully we'll get to see some very interesting, exciting strategies by Muffin moving forward. Because once he goes to get Grenade, he's going to be doing some really interesting, crazy movement. So it looked like, I wasn't sure at first, but it looked like Acrid missed a keystone on his way up against a tree. So I think he's a keystone short.
That could be extremely problematic, considering the reason we dupe keystones is for this specific reason of getting into Swamp. So that'll... No, it looks like he's got... Oh no, and very upset mouse movement on Muffin's side of seeing the big bird. I am actually mistaken on that. He is going to need an extra keystone in Sorrow area, because Acrid only has 2 and not the 3 that he had duped prior.
Okay. That's going to be interesting to see how he handles that.
Which one do you think he'll take?
I'm not really sure. I mean, that's a really tough call. I'm not sure what would be the best backup one. I've usually never had to go for a backup keystone.
I've seen a couple of people go for the one above the keystone door, like before you get up there.
Okay.
There's the one that you go up into the little hidden area.
Right.
So he might go for that one.
Makes sense.
But you're right, we'll have to see that when he's... Now, he has been missing a lot of dash glides, though.
Yeah, that could be a little alarming moving forward. But overall, still playing very well.
Getting a good bash off of our friend Ringo there to get that ability cell and lead.
Leaving poor Ringo behind. Ooh, Acrid also missing the Kuro cutscene skip.
Now, Muffin on your left is using charge dashes to get up and around. Just part of that early charge route, and did not like that shot at all. Bashes off with the shot, bashes off the lantern, and gets his fast stompless.
Very beautiful fast stompless.
He is going to be at Feather. You know, Acrid heading to the Charge Flame tree.
Going to have to lure this. Ooh, the Frankie did not make it into the hole. That's going to require Acrid to do a little bit of different movement on his way out. Muffin here on the left, setting up for a Sorrow Bash. We'll see if he can get this first try.
Which he can.
Very nicely done.
Though it's not entirely over as far as danger. Still gonna get through all of the super pointy spikes. Is gonna go for the second rocket jump off the frog. Is he to go for the safety save? He is.
Yeah, that's a very fair safety save to go for. This section can be very dangerous.
And it... Okay, looks like he wants to start the save anywhere here. Instead of waiting until he comes back.
So even though there is a, slight difference between the runners at this point, still keep your eye on Acrid because he is still on excellent pace and could definitely set a new best time if he can keep up this pace.
He is approaching Fastompolis himself and is going to grab Charge Dash here. So he didn't take the early Charge Dash route, but he is going to just grab Charge Dash to make it slightly easier to get up to the area that the shot takes place.
A little difficulty with the angle of a shot here, not like in some of these shots. Yeah, this can be a very, very precise shot to land, and if you do not angle it just right, you're going to be losing a lot of time, so it's definitely worth to try and, maybe take 2 or 3 shots just to make sure you get it right, but...
This is a lot of shots, though. He might just be losing time now.
We'll see if that angle is good.
Oh, and it's not!
Ooh. It's going to be a small bit of time loss for Acrid. When he kills the spider...
But he respawns the spider, so it's all good.
So on your left here, you're going to see Muffin deviating a bit, and this is that what's 20 seconds route. He's going off to get the light grenade skill now, which, most runners tend to go for towards the end of their run.
Is also going to start one of the longer save anywheres that, because we need to skip a cutscene. Oh, that is a laser. Need to skip a cutscenes later on, right before the light grenade tree. Always. That's another laser. Always nice to conserve the energy. As he gets through those lasers, off the bird, and there's the save anywhere going off to its full potential. Now,
we have Acrid here on the right, starting his Sorrow Bash. I believe he took a damage, so right, he'd be very careful within those spikes. Since those spikes do a lot of damage, you really can't risk taking any hits moving into this section. We'll see if you can get a second try here.
Looks like it was a little low. Is going to continue to start all the way from the bottom, so let's see if we can get this. Bashes off the bird pretty well.
This is looking a little better.
And he's through. Now, Muffin is on his way into Misty Woods, getting what's going to be his last skill, Climb. Misty is one of a lot of people's most fun parts of the run, considering you have all the movement things at your disposal.
Muffin's going to be showing us very soon how fun it can be, especially with that new light grenade skill that he picked up. Acrid on the right, moving on, and it looks like he did get the backup keystone, so no problem at all for him.
And on your left, Muffin is making his way to the climb trait. Now, this is where the what's 20 seconds route really comes to shine, considering that since you have all of the skills, you can do things like that. That skill being a grenade jump, which isn't really a skill, but a very precise series of hitting jump and then grenade and then all of this fun stuff going on at the same time.
Yeah, it can be a very tricky trick to pull off, but Muffin here just making it look very easy. Just making Misty Woods here go by in the blink of an eye. It's very nice to see.
Now, Muffin is choosing to not do any safety saves almost all the way through this part of Misty, which is super scary.
It's very scary.
Maybe we'll see him take one before the mini boss?
Wonder if that's any consequence of him feeling like he's on a really good pace.
Pulling up a save anywhere there. I'm not... Oh, right. Technically speaking, you can get the door open faster, I believe. But now Muffin's going for a series of a few really long grenade jumps, as our runners high five yet again. Now, it may look like our runners aren't super far apart, but remember, Muffin does already have grenade. So Acrid needs to get climb and then go into Blackroot Burrows for the last skill. Meanwhile, Muffin is on his way into Mount Horu to finish up the game. Oh, here come more. Oh no!
Ooh. It's that.
Oh, he's going back for it.
He's gonna go back for it. Oh, that was very scary.
He does save, though. And I believe he is going to go for this health cell as well. Yes, he is. So he's going to refill right there. And he is going to be on his way into Horu. Oh, he's doing the silly one. I love that grenade jump. Because if you get the exact right angle, you just soar all the way over to Horu. And he is into Mount Horu now. What are your predictions on Door Warp, Zek?
I'm gonna guess second try.
Alright, well then I'm gonna guess first.
First? Alright.
I believe.
Having a little bit of difficulty here with his door warp. There we go, he has it. Nice.
Third try. So, Muffin is going to be doing an escape, while Acrid's trying to escape from Misty.
And Acrid's doing a very good job. If you've been watching Acrid's side at all, he's been doing an extremely good job leaving Misty Woods.
So he is going to get rid of that mini-boss in due time as... Oh, dear lord, Muffin. I cannot believe he's going
Never
for...
doubt Muffin and his grenade jumps.
Oh no. Oh no, he's going for the one I'm thinking. Oh dear. Alright, so the grenade jump in the first room, you have to bash grenade over a Kuro trigger in order to get the big bird to not spawn, so that you can go all the way over the laser.
That's just...
I'm
assuming since he knows he's not on the sub 32 pace anymore, he's just gonna be going for all the fun grenade jumps now.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, any bonks. That is... Those are a silly bunch of grenade jumps. And he is through.
He is through with a beautiful final grenade jump. But did you ever doubt he was going to get the last grenade jump?
No. No, I did not.
While Muffin finishes up here, Acrid is moving on to get the light grenade skill. Still doing very well.
Going to go for a much more reasonable save anywhere. Starting right next to the cutscene trigger instead of all the way back up at the lever. And Muffin is going for the hops as he finishes out. And we will get confirmation on that final time. It's like the fountain.
Oh, I was just about to say, it looks like Muffin finished with a 33-40.
Now, as Muffin has finished, Acrid is just gotten the health cell next to the Blackroot teleporter and is on his way to Swamp. And here we go. Acrid's on his way to the final escape in Mount Haru. Looks like he's also going to get this health cell in Mount Horror Fields. That he will also be at 6 going into the final escape. Now you can do it with 5, which makes things a lot more risky.
At that point, it definitely did make sense to grab that 6 health cell. Just, you know, for the safety and make sure that you're going to get through just fine. So we'll see if Acrid can get a nice door warp here. I'm going to guess first try for this one.
You know what? I'm going to trust you. I'm going to trust your judgment.
All right. And he goes for it.
All right, so what you meant to say was third try, right?
Absolutely. You know what I meant. Okay, I don't think we should predict door warps anymore.
Acrid having a little bit of trouble, but he's in.
There we go.
Now Acrid is going to do his final escape.
Overall, though, you know, Acrid had a very nice run. Oh, strange death there. I believe that was a missed stomp cancel, if I caught that right.
Looked like it. Acrid did say that he was going to do what he could for a PB, which includes all of the fancy movement, the stomp cancels, the lovely swimming. But unfortunately, even though he's not even though he's been trying his best, a PB is not possible this time around, but he's still going for all of the strats. And he just sets up the grenade jump like it's effortless.
Wow, that was very nicely done. Very nicely done by Acrid.
Super good.
Both our runners making that last grenade jump look trivial.
And that is most certainly not. There is the possibility of soft locking there, which is a little scary.
Yeah, the last thing you want is to go through the entire run only to have it soft lock at the end. Acrid finishing up here, and then we will get his final time.
Acrid is going to finish up with a 37:54. Not a PB, but still a respectable race time nonetheless.
Very good run, absolutely. Both our runners having excellent runs.
It looks like we are going to be getting Covert Muffin with us for an interview, as well as Acridstingray when we can. So, we are joined by both of our runners, Muffin, Acrid. How are you both feeling about this race?
I knew I lost a sub 31 pace when I hit Stomp Tree, but I knew I was still on sub 32 pace. And then after I kind of watched Kuro cutscene skip, and missed a lot of sort of like bash angles and whatnot. I was like, yeah, I'm probably not gonna PB. And so at that point, it just became an exhibition sort of a thing of me showcasing off silly things going through the run.
Feeling better,
yeah.
Than I expected, to be honest.
Acrid, no more unfortunate contact accidents?
No, I didn't have. Well, the only issue I really had was that I left my mouse too far away, so I could fast on plus.
Oh, yeah, you were having a bit of trouble with that. How were you feeling on having to redo a bunch of the shots? Because you did not look like you were happy with those.
Yeah, normally I hold the bash on my controller and then I the mouse, but this time I left my mouse where it's so far away right now, and I just couldn't get a good angle. I mean, there was a couple that once I came back, I thought, yeah, those might have worked, but when I aimed them, I thought they would, so I didn't want to risk it.
Alright. Both of our runners had a very different mystique. Muffin, how were the grenade jumps? You basically went for everything in the book that we saw.
It was well, I got to showcase off the new Patera jump that Eviona was like, wait, could you do this? Which is like you charge jump right before you run into the baneling. But the problem is the ground is uneven, so you have to have a really specific starting position and a really specific starting angle for the grenade jump. But then if you miss it, you actually are not touching the floor before the baneling, so you can't charge jump out of it and just die instantaneously. So getting that was really fun. The other ones, I sort of knew my goal for getting us up 32 was dead when my grenade jumps just weren't forming, and that was okay. And I just kind of went with it and kept retrying the grenade jumps over and over again. But they're a lot of fun. They make me feel good.
Yeah, it was definitely a good show with the grenade jumps. So, Muffin, do you have anything that you're, thinking about before your next match? Anything that you think you need to prepare for, or any plans?
My nerves are a real big problem still. I'm still getting 33s, and when I should be getting like 32s every single match. So I might try and just do more consistent light practice. So maybe for only like 15 to 30 minutes a day. And like a lot of just movement specific areas, just pick a spot and practice that. Who my opponent is doesn't really matter. Either way, I believe I will be favored in the next match. And so as long as I play to my strengths and reduce my nerves, I should be able to pull a win. But I am excited to see the Fan versus J-Hobbs match. I think that's going to be so epic.
It's definitely going to be a good one. So, question now for Acrid. You kind of want to just talk about, your whole tournament experience as a whole, how you enjoyed it, maybe your plans after the tournament?
I mean, my plans after the tournament are clear. Just play more AD. I like that category way more than this one. Please come run AD, people. And my tournament experience was actually good. Aside from I had tournament issues, technical issues every other race, but it was still really fun. I will definitely do another.
Hey, from your first match where you had to swap to KBM in the middle of it to now, you have had a fantastic tournament run.
Yeah, the keyboard mouse thing is it's something I remember a lot, probably. Like, there's no way I'm forgetting that. It's just first tournament race basically ever, and then suddenly my controller dies on my hands. And well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do now.
You think you're going to pick up keyboard and mouse as an actual input method?
No, I don't. I'll stick to it to Reckless, and that's it.
Alright, well, thank you to both runners. Good job, Covert, Muffin, on moving to the next round. Unfortunately, Acrid, you are out of the tournament, but good job in participating in the tournament. Now, we have a match directly after this one as well coming up, so everyone stick around. Gonna be Cheese Lover versus Mad Insane in the Near Division. So that's gonna be a good time. I have been Rainbow Poogle. I have been joined by Zik3. The Near Division is on your screens. The match specifically is going to be the Cheese Lover Mad Insane one in the lower bracket. Everyone stick around. We're gonna take a short break and come back to that. Thank you all for coming, and I hope everyone had a wonderful time. Thank you to our truck and our restream. We'll be back in a few.